Hello, my name is Melanie. I'm the CEO of GeoAR Games, and I would like to welcome you to our webinar about digital strategy, how you can add a digital layer to your park and your outdoor space to bring your community back to parks and teach them about the environment, culture, history, whatever it is. So let's get started and have a look at what we've got for you. So we do exergames. Exergames is a term that means exercising and games. So all of our games have to be played by running around, moving around, being physically active. You cannot sit down and play our games. It doesn't work like that. And we specialize in digital playgrounds, and one of them, or our flagship model, is Magical Park. That was our first digital playground of which we started. And I just quickly wanted to share the story as to what's behind that. So back in 2011, my stepdaughter had turned 7, and that is that magical age where all of a sudden they're losing interest in traditional playgrounds and they just want to play games. And I found that very, very frustrating as a step parent. I wanted to take her to the park without a fight, and it didn't seem to be possible all of a sudden anymore. She had lost all interest in traditional playgrounds. So that is when I came up with the idea, what if I take the best of both worlds and start to design educational environmental games outside in the parks that she will enjoy, that still teach her and still get her fresh air and have her running around, but that give me the pleasure of taking her outside without a fight. And the other thing, being a parent, was I wanted parents to have a break from all the games that were out there, and basically make them squeaky clean. More about that a little bit later on. So, Magical Park has pretty much become our flagship and our entry point into digital play experiences that suit our now COVID times. So, for instance, with the playgrounds being closed off, families didn't have a lot of options anymore as what to do in parks, and how to get their kids engaged in nature. And the good thing is that with what we are doing, all you need is your own mobile device. You're not touching anything else. You just need your mobile device, and we can use existing structure or geolocation based data to position an experience in a space. So COVID really kind of like put us on the map for providing COVID-friendly solutions that work during lockdown, that still give the community something to do, and educate them about environment or history or cultural aspects, while not having to touch anything. And so we're going to go through a number of case studies, and I will show you how it works, and then you can choose what you think might work best for us, and then get back to us, and we'll advise you as to how that would sit with your budget or with your location and what options we have. But we literally have a solution and an option for everybody and every budget. Let's go through it. So our games have all been tried we've all tried to design them with an ethical lens. So we wanted to have no in-app advertising, in-app purchases, no third-party data mining. All the content is gender neutral and doesn't provide any shooting or violence or anything. And it's free for the community to play. And we can do that because cities, municipalities, government departments, resorts pay for what we are providing so that the community can play for free. They basically pay a subscription fee, or they buy it outright if it is a bespoke solution. So here is a video from CBS. We got invited by Coral Gables in Florida to set up the first magical park in the US. And they got us on to CBS, onto the news. And this is a little news article from last year.
Now at 6, a new program in Coral Gables is hoping that technology will help families get their children to leave their gadgets behind and go outdoors and get some exercise. CBS 4 photojournalist Peter Miranda was at Crystal Academy as the students there were ready to play at one magical park.
Ready, set,
This is Magical Park, which is the first digital playground experience in the U.S. What we did is we looked at, during these COVID times, a possible outlet for children to get out in the parks and play without using equipment. And what we were able to do is find a digital application that provides interactive experiences out in the parks through the use of a tablet or a phone. And it was something that was being done overseas in New Zealand and Australia. And we were able to find this application and bring it to the U.S. And we're excited that today is the first day that we're able to open up our magical park. And we're doing it here at the Coral Gables War Memorial Youth Center field. And we have our first group out there testing it out. And it'll be open for the entire city tomorrow for Coral Gables. I think it's a wonderful outlet. I think, we're all looking for things to enjoy, to have fun, to go out, be active. Everyone's been inside their homes for quite a long time now, and I think this is another outlet. It provides something different, something exciting, something new that we haven't seen before, and I think our community is going to really enjoy it.
Fabulous. So I want to give you a bit of an idea as to what it is like to play Magical Park. And so this is me playing in my local park. I'm doing a little bit of play testing of a new game which is called Australia Explorer. This game teaches kids about Australian wildlife, habitat loss, conservation, and various other points. It is an audio book combined with authentic animal noises, which I've turned down now just so you can hear me a little bit better. And the kids basically have to find each animal by the noise they make. This is the only game that we have at the moment. No, there's one more, which is the kitten game, which also vision impaired players can play because of the audio layer in it. You can also play it without having to see what's happening on the screen. So this is something quite new. And if I'm just jumping forward a little bit, so you can see here we found the koala bear, the koala, it's not a bear, koala. And we're going on to the dingo, and then we're learning about the motorbike frog, which gets its name because it sounds like a motorbike. And so as we're wandering around the park and we're finding all the animals, and you have to physically walk through the park, like you see me walking now, and I'm walking towards the dingo to collect it. It is literally a unique experience that is dropped into your park, and the kids can explore it. Now we have 8 different games at the moment. We're currently working on a 9th game, which is Save the Bees, and we're working on with a number of experts from around the world to provide this experience about the bees. We also have 3 seasonal games. The game, the amount of games, we're always working on them. There's always new content being added to it, and it is developed for cities so that you can get analytics about how many people are coming to the park, and which ones are your favorite games and all of that. So you have a back portal that basically gives you some information about park visitors playing the game as well. Now, what do you need to play a game like that? So this here is the perfect space. It's a nice open flat area. It's the size of a soccer or football field. It has mobile reception, and basically you don't need any hardware to install it at all. And we can provide you with a free demo if you give us the address of a suitable space. It just needs to be big enough and have mobile reception, and we will set you up with your own magical park to trial for the weekend. Now, another opportunity is when you use beacons, and beacons are not very big. This is my magic little button here. That makes a magical park portable. So that means that if you have somebody who does activation events for youth, they are able to set up magical park inside a hall. It is portable. They can go to different locations. It does come with a little bit of responsibility, because if you have the button, you have to be mindful that anyone can play anywhere. But we do have that as an option for some government departments or some cities who need it for specific events. We then have the interactive augmented reality frames. This is something quite special. I give you a little bit of background how this was developed and why. The city of Canning in Australia had a wetland where a lot of people were dumping rubbish into. they wanted their community to learn a little bit more about water quality and why it was so important to take care of it. So what we ended up doing is we developed these 6 frames. So there are 6 different frames with 6 different interactive experiences set up around the wetland. And each of those frames has got a unique experience. The frame itself is designed based on a mural, which you may be able to just spot here in the background. It's a beautiful, big, huge mural done by local artists, and we use that artwork to connect back to the frames. So that makes them quite picturesque, but the other thing is because it is physical, it is something that people can see, it looks unique. They automatically read the description here on the side and see what is this about. And each frame has got its own title, it's got the description as to what it is, and it's very popular. So we've got a little video to show you how it works and what it looks like in action. But before we go into that, I thought I'm going to show you what the frames actually do. So this is something that I've recorded at home. You can see that we are teaching the player about the different values or the different things that the sensors measure. They have sensors in the water and they can measure the nitrate, for instance, or the oxygen or the temperature. And so we've created a simulation experience that allows the player to change the sliders on the game, which you will see here now. So you can see here's our piece of wetland. It pops up out of the screen, and just like you see me here having a poster on a whiteboard, it's the same with the various frames around that wetland. So the wetland pops out of the frame and allows the user to interact with it. And now if I'm starting to play around with it and I'm starting to pull the nitrate up or the temperature up, you will see here the nitrate goes up. You will see that at some stage the plants might increase, the animals disappear, and then the basin is unhealthy. What we've tied into that are messages, for instance, why feeding the ducks is not a good idea. Using fertilizer is not a good idea because it washes into the water and increases the nitrate. Same with drain pollutants and so on. So this is an aha effect for the kids or the families where they realize why they shouldn't be doing certain things. It's also a great way to show off your local wildlife. It is one of our most popular experiences around the wetland, especially for schools, because it's a great way to teach them about the impact of water quality. And here you see our interactive map, which is linked to each frame as well, so you can see where you are, you can see what's in your surroundings. A lot of people are not used to reading maps anymore, so this is an easier way for them to get an idea where they are. And most kids are used to game maps where you've got the top-down view and you know exactly where everything is, and they find it much easier to memorize where they're going to go. All right, let's have a look at what this looks like in action. So here is our Wolf Street Basin in Canning. This is just after the opening day, so the plants haven't started growing yet. You download the Smart Canning app, and then you point it at the frames, and the experience kicks in and starts off. And so here you see the water game that you just saw. Another one is about I think the next one that we're going to see is either the gold spottlebait. No, this is the snake-neck turtle. And you can see what the turtle eats and why you should be throwing pizza in the pond. And then the gold spottlebait, and then the gold spottlebait eats moths and other insects. So it's 6 game experiences around the wetland that teaches the user about what they're doing and what they need to know and how everything works. So moving forwards, we used this experience to create a poster series for events. Auckland Council came to us, Auckland Council in New Zealand came to us and said they were worried about the Christmas event and lockdown and the community not having anything to do in the lead up to Christmas. So they asked us if we could come up with a solution, and we developed the Christmas posters based on the same idea as the canning principle, which you just saw. This one here, for instance, if you printed like a 0 size, really big, you can have an entire family in front of it and take a photo with our digital Santa. These ones we recommend to print A1 size, and then the kids can stand in front of it and play Santa picking up cookies and milk. We also have a reindeer game, and we have a decorate your Christmas tree game. So there's 4 games in total. We're currently working on an Easter version, which will also have a QR code scavenger hunt, which you can integrate into shops. So the shops can participate. You can put in vouchers if you like, or basically, yeah, even a map. So it's kind of like a semi-bespoke experience based on something that we already have developed. So you see how some products are off the shelf and you can just use them as they are, and others you might want to personalize a little bit. So totally up to you. Now you might want to tell your community a little bit about your history. We developed our TS Stories for Auckland in New Zealand, and this was to help the community get connected to heritage buildings and understand or appreciate the history behind them. So here in this photo you see the shoe store that used to be there based in the 1900s, and the market hall to the left. And so what we did is we created a augmented reality experience with 4 buildings, 4 heritage buildings, created a time travel story around it. Here is our hero, Dr. Magnus, who's looking to recruit me to help him fix the time anomalies and make sure that history unfolds as planned. In order to do that, he needs me to walk through this time portal, and all of a sudden I will be surrounded by 4 heritage buildings and meet historical figures, historical people who I then interact with and solve a mystery that basically connects me to the buildings and to the various people I meet. The whole experience takes about half an hour. It does require quite a lot of historical research and architectural plans or some sort of floor plans, old photos of the buildings in order to recreate them. But we did manage to even recreate the inside of some of the buildings, as you will see in a second in one of the trailers. And so going forward, here's one of the video trailers. Which the user can interact with, and that's our short little trailer. If you want to know more about that and how it works, you can always contact us and we tell you a little bit more about it. Now over to South Seas Island Resort in Florida. They came to us, they had a little bit of a problem. They had 20 physical stations around the island, and at each station the kids would collect a silicone bracelet, and by the end they would have 20 silicone bracelets, hand them into the information center, and then fill out a card to put on the corkboard as a reward that they had completed the mission, the challenge. And then obviously COVID hit, and it wasn't a great idea anymore with the bracelets, and they were looking for a digital reward layer. So we redesigned the posters, and you can see on the right here that the stations now look quite different. At the bottom is a QR code, and the QR code doubles to help the user find the app on the store, but also to redeem the various rewards. The posters or the signs have got different fun facts than what you learn inside the app. So the app will have different fun facts. They go through the various animals that you encounter, or the history, the culture, the fauna, flora from that island. And so over the time, as you walk from station to station, you learn about different fun facts. You scan the QR code, you unlock your reward, and by the end of it, you basically get a special video with your face tagged into, and you can pass it on via social media. Now, because not everybody can go and see South Seas Island Resort in Florida, we created a treasure map with a little bit of the history and how it works. And you can see the map here at the top with the various stations. And then we combined all the QR codes on the back of the map. So you get to play even though you're not there. So this is kind of like a shortcut. If you are interested in the QR code experience, do get in touch and we'll send you the PDF. And here is little Electra explaining how the game works.
Ahoy, matey! Set sail to Tabor Island to discover treasure. Treasure! Follow the trails to find the 20 hidden stations. Then scan the QR codes to learn the secrets about the island's wildlife and plants. Don't be a landlubber.
Landlubber?
Download the Scout About app and join the crew of eco-pirates.
And receive a pirate dance and redeem the treasure voucher.
What you be waiting for? Yarr!
And that brings us to the end. I would also like to introduce Nexus Alpha, our US partner. Sam Hollis will be very, very happy to hear from you if you are from the US or Canada and you want to know more about what we do, or you would like to book in a bit of a workshop with us, let us know. We also have somebody in Germany. We have we work very closely with Parks and Leisure Australia, who are our partner with the New Zealand Recreation Association. So do be in touch, and we are happy to help you out and sit down with you and see what solution would suit your budget and your location where you want to do something. And we can look at off-the-shelf or semi-bespoke or bespoke solutions. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we hope to hear from you.